some people are insanely adventurous.
We were about 12 hours away from any hospital.
They enjoy taking risks just for fun and excitement. Meet these sensation seekers whose love of adrenaline will make you dizzy.
Every year, the world's most elite mountain bikers gather in France for a race unlike any other.
It's the longest downhill race in the world.
That's right, Megavalanche is the longest downhill race in the world. 18 miles long, 10,000 feet high in the French Alps, and a crazy starting line of 3,000 cyclists on a mountain peak. This is Remy Absalon. He won the Megavalanche.
I started mountain bike when I was young. Enduro and mountain bike is really cool because we can explore all around the world. Megavalanche Alpes d'Huez take place in the French Alps, in Alpes d'Huez, so not so far off Italy and Switzerland. It's really high in Alps, so you have a very good view, 360 degrees around you. It's really crazy. I don't know why I do that. You ride all kind of terrain. First the glacier, and after the rocky section, the forest. It's really physical with some uphills. So when you cross the line and you are first, you're really happy and you want to try again.
I kind of compare it with being at a giant dog park. Some of them love it. Like, you start giving them armpit scratches and they're just like giant dogs. They just start rolling around and they're flying all around you. But these animals are huge. People are intimidated by them, but once you learn their behavior, they're just right into you right away. They just look at you like a big chew toy. I could never see myself living anywhere other than the Pacific Northwest. I could literally spend every single day the rest of my life and never travel anywhere other than Vancouver Island, and I would still never have enough time to see this whole place. My first introduction to the ocean would have definitely come from my mom.
Just me with the sea lion right there.
Later on in life, I realized that it is a pretty unique experience to get to go out and spend time with these animals on a regular basis. Sea lions are a large, intelligent animal, and they're very sensitive of what your intentions are, and how they choose to interact with you is totally their choice. If you're comfortable and they're inquisitive, they'll come and they'll chew on your fins, or they come up and they chew on the edge of your mask, or give you big kisses on the lips, or big hugs. They wrap their fins around you and give you a big hug. People get sketched out about it. Like, I've had lots of people contact me and be like, "Don't you think those things are aggressive?" Just because an animal's putting its mouth on you doesn't mean it's doing it in a harmful way. They don't have hands. They can't explore their world with anything other than their mouth. There's people that spend a lot of money to travel to the other side of the planet to watch a group of large migratory animals in Africa or something, say. And here I can just go out on my boat, and it's not something I take for granted at all anymore, having the opportunity to do this.
The Ultra 6633 is a 352-mile-long race across the Arctic. It's cold.
It didn't really get above minus 45.
It's long.
I think that took me 150 hours.
And most people don't finish it. This is Dave Barrage. He lives on the Isle of Wight.
It's a small island off the south coast of England.
And last year, he won the Ultra 6633. So I'm talking to him about what it feels like to race across the Arctic. A typical marathon is 26.2 miles long, so this is like 14 of them back to back. The distance is isolating.
you're on your own for like 2 days at a time.
And with negative 45-degree temperatures, it feels even longer.
Everything up there is big. There's just nothing to gauge distance by. There's nothing to judge anything by. You can see nothing but white. So you start to think, am I asleep? Or am I dreaming this? Or am I actually moving? It's like being in a painting.
It took Dave 6 days to finish the race, and he only slept a total of 10 hours. It's that exhaustion, he says, that causes you to lose your mind.
Your mind just starts imagining all sorts. I went through an avenue of trees and I thought I was going through a disco party, and every time I approached somebody, they stopped talking and just looked at me.
But you can't stop.
You've got to keep moving. You think, what on earth is that coming towards me? And you know, within 2 minutes you're shivering. You shouldn't have stopped to look at something that's not there. I achieved what I wanted to achieve, and I finished it, and I'm very grateful and very lucky to have finished it. Out of all the races I've done, it's one of the most mentally challenging races out there, and it's probably the race that commands the most respect. Anybody who finishes that well, I would certainly, they've got my admiration.
A lot of people's reactions when we told them we were going to go basically to the North Pole and ride mountain bikes were, are you bringing ice tires? You know, because most people think of the North Pole, they're like, okay, it's going to be cold and full of snow. They don't really realize that there's an Arctic desert out there. My name is Darren Bearcloth. I'm from Vancouver Island, British Columbia, and I'm a professional mountain bike freerider. Freeriding is all about picking your own line and being free to interpret the mountains in any way that you see fit.
Thinking about starting on the horizon right there. It'll be like a drop onto a rock slab.
The reason that we chose Axel Heiberg Island was because the lines were massive. It trumped anything that we ever ridden before in terms of height and just sheer scale.
All right, boys. All right.
Yeah, boys.
Epic time.
One of the hardest parts about that whole trip was just its remoteness and how far it was from civilization. If something goes wrong, we were about 12 hours away, in the best case scenario, from any hospital or serious help. The landscape up in the high Arctic was it was breathtaking. Standing at the top of the line, just soaking it all in, it's a pretty rad feeling. One thing that's amazing about mountain biking is the fact that you can take it anywhere, that you can climb mountains with it, you can descend mountains with it, you can travel long distances with it, and you can stuff it in a box and fly it around the world. To go up to the high Arctic, 400 miles south of the North Pole, and ride my bikes, it's a pretty amazing thing to do, and check that off the bucket list for sure.
Hey everybody, my name is Drew Beebe, and I'm here in my terrible home studio that I've made during quarantine, and I wanted to tell you about our new podcast called Great Big Story. It's got more surprising and delightful stories just like this one, so head over to Apple Podcasts, to Spotify, wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and download Great Big Story.